All right, we're live. Welcome, everybody. As always, skip 5 minutes ahead since we're going to let everybody come in first, and then we'll start. Let's remind the world. All right. For those in here, let me know if you can hear me. Give me a like or comment in the chat. Sweet. Welcome. For those who aren't here, happy Friday. Fed cut the, what was it, 50 basis points? 50 basis points rate cut. Interesting stuff. Let's look at what happened for today. It looks like a whole bunch of nothing. Inside day. I knew it. That's why I don't trade OPEX. Whoever did trade OPEX, shout out to you. We'll start in about 4 minutes. Let everybody come in, and we'll go from there. As always, everybody, we have 10 people in here and 4 likes. I require at least 50% participation. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's all I ask. Hit the little like button, thumbs up button, and we all win. You get free feedback. I get more recognition on the channel. We reach more people so we can all learn together and improve. Hey, Justin, definitely a happy Friday. Did you take any trades today? Very nice. We'll definitely check it out in a bit. I'm definitely a little salty, I'll tell you that. So the last few OPEXs that I've traded, I either ended red or like barely green. So the last OPEX last month, I'm like, all right, based on my journaling, looks like I'm ending red more than I'm ending green for these days. I'm just going to completely not trade OPEX. And then today, just so I can still see what was going on, instead of taking live trades, I was just watching. And then as I'm watching, the bread and butter W pattern appears, and it gave like 120 points, 150 points on YM. I'm like, this would print on a day that I can't trade or that I self-impose myself to not trade. I'll go over it in a bit. The same setup might have appeared on SPY too. Let's see. Not really. SPY was a little dirty. Technically it did, but it was like a really, really dirty one on the 15-minute. Yeah, pretty much. But as always, Monday's another day. I'm not too caught up in it. There'll be more trades to take. Hey, Sharp, welcome. Apple close. Let's look at Apple. I'll bring up my chart in a minute when we get everybody in here. Sheesh. They violated Apple. Wow, that was what? Almost a 4-point knife? Oof. Did news come out? Doesn't look like anything crazy news-wise. Unless I just can't see it here on TradingView. Yeah, that's crazy. Whoever had calls, rest in peace. Whoever had puts, I'm sure they were real happy. Interesting. All right. We have a good amount of people in here, so we'll start. Welcome, everybody, to the trade recap and assisting trader session, September 20th of 2024. My name is Advent, and I'm not a financial advisor. Anything that we go over in this class or any of my other content is not financial advice. It is strictly for educational purposes only. So please do your research before you engage in trading. For those who are new here, we have these every Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern time, where I'll go over my trades, and then I'll also go over your trades and provide feedback on how we can improve or, see what you're doing good, so on and so forth. Before we start, I want to take a minute or two to shout some people out. Kev, if you're in here, you guys might know him as Louis V in the chat. Shout out to you, sir. He's been doing a phenomenal job the last 2 weeks and, sticking to his rules, taking his setups, and having the proper mentality. Because like I always tell you guys, you need to have the proper mentality in this. You can have the strategy, but if your mind isn't right, then you're going to have a real hard time. So shout out to you, Kev. Doing fantastic. Rick, if you're in here, that you're in my group, Rick T. Your analysis has been fantastic. The trades that you have pointed out have been working out, and you're pretty much doing it right. When there's a gap up or down, we just look for a TTO, and then we just wait. Keep it simple. Isaiah, shout out to you, sir. Spotting that W yesterday. Beat me to the punch. Great job there. And there's probably somebody else that I'm forgetting, but I'll remember as we go along. So, all in all, shout out to you guys. Everybody else that's doing a great job. Keep it going. As long as we improve week by week, that's all that matters. All right, let's bring up the chart. Oh, that's who I forgot. Bob, my newest student, shout out to you, sir. He caught his first H today, or TTO, a bearish one. He did a fantastic job in getting in and mapping the trade out. I think he won that trade. I think he did. Got to double check later if you're in here. Anyway, let me know if you guys can see my screen. Give me a yes in the chat so I know, so I can continue. Sweet. All right, so let's make this a little bigger. I'm going to go over yesterday on YM since I didn't take any live trades today because of OPEX. Let me just, it was my 5-minute. I'll keep the write up so you guys can see it on the chart. But essentially, I took this W yesterday. For those who don't know, a W is just my fancy term for a double bottom. We're just using the strat to get into the specific trade. So this was the trade yesterday. Let me just move this over. So essentially, and I'll clean this up a bit. I took this W trade yesterday. As soon as this candle right here reversed back to the upside on a 2 down, 2 up bullish reversal, I took it long right there. I took my first take profit over here at the center of the W. Generally, you can also take profit like at the very highest point, but because we're getting wicks here, I personally prefer to just take profit near this area as opposed to this high point in case we get rejected and reverse back down. So I trimmed some profit here. It didn't hit my second target, which is the completed W up here, and it reversed and stopped my runner position out at the first target right here. So all in all, solid trade, and that's pretty much all I did yesterday. After that, nothing really caught my attention really, so I just left it at that. So let's get rid of all of this write-up. There we go, a lot cleaner. So with the W model, all we're really looking for, preferably, we're looking for a higher low to form to take the reversal back up. And this specific setup is usually pretty good to catch the low of day or near the low of day and ride it up almost to the high of day if it's a really good one. So we're waiting. The step one is always going to be a move down from market open, and then we create a low of day. Then we get a retracement back up. And then when we come back down, instead of completing an H pattern like this, we're going to create a higher low. And the price is going to get bought up, and then we're going to reverse back up and pretty much create the W, as we can see here. We have step one, which is low of day is formed from market open. Then we have the retracement. Then we have the push back down, and then we have the reversal back up. Your first target is the center of the W. Your second target is the top left of it, where it will be like completed. Your stop loss can either be on the bottom right or it can be down here, because if it completes if it breaks the bottom left low, that's just an H pattern, right? Or a dead cat bounce, as some people may know it as. Generally, because the market has been a lot more volatile, I have my stop loss on the bottom right of the W, as we can see here, because this 100-point stop loss, that's way too wide for me, for my position size. Of course, you can use micros and increase your size or, increase your stop loss, but this tends to work pretty well for me. So that's the one that I took yesterday. Closed it for 50 points in total. Would have been nice to hit the second target at 125 points, but it is what it is. We always take what the market gives us, and we have to be grateful for that because we made money by pressing buttons. So that's all I did yesterday. For today, the paper trade that I took was pretty much the same setup. We have another W right here, as we can see. These are the ones that I prefer when it prints a hammer on the bottom right. If it also prints an outside bar or a 3 up for people who trade the strat, those are also really high probability versions. I look for this setup on the 5 and 15-minute time frame. Today, the 15-minute time frame version printed in the first half of the day, and it usually prints in the afternoon. So, sometimes the algorithm switches up. We just got to be there to be able to spot them. So, went long right here. Stop loss, as always, is on the bottom right. The completed W will be up here. Took profit took some profit off at this body right here. Because of these wicks, again, I prefer to take it at the body as opposed to the candle. So that first one gave 48 points. And then I moved my stop loss for the second half of the contract at break even. And then this candle here, when it came back down, it stopped me out. And then it continued higher. But again, it is what it is. We take what the market gives us and we keep it moving. Granted, it would have been nice. This thing hit what? 200 points at the peak? Very, very nice. So the W model, it usually prints between 10 a.m. Eastern to 11:45 Eastern a.m. And then in the evening, on the 15-minute time frame, it'll print between 12:45 p.m. and 1:30 p.m. So I'll usually come back at 1 p.m. after lunch when I stop at 12, and I'll look on the 15-minute. If I don't see a W or a potential W setting up, then I'll just shut everything down. This is the only setup that I look for in the afternoon session. Other than that, pretty much all the trades I took, You guys have any questions on that before I go over your trades? Any questions? Put it in the chat. No stupid questions. We're all here to learn together. Also, the gentleman or the gentlewoman that I was talking to on Reddit earlier, if you're here, let me know. So any questions you guys have, put it in the chat. If you don't have any questions, you can start giving me your trades that you guys took today, if any. Well, I prefer you guys took trades today so I can review them. If you are going to give me any trades, let me get rid of all this stuff real quick. Cool. If you are going to give me any trades, if you're going to give me options trades, please give me all of the information that's here so I can better analyze the trade with you. If you're going to give me a futures, forex, or equity trade to review, please give me this information on the right. So the floor is yours. Whatever trades you guys want to go over, put it in the chat so I can review it with you and see what happened. All right, we got RTY. What time frame on RTY? That's hilarious. This is RTY on the daily time frame, and we printed a gigantic W with a hammer and a 3-up to boot. So if that could have swung. I don't really swing indices, but it could have swung this on IWM. Sheesh. Oh man, I would have been super good on that trade. Anyway, going back to RTY. All right, we're looking at RTY on the 4-hour. Tell me what the trade setup was. I know what the setup was already. I just want you to say it for other people that may not know what setup you took. So he took the double inside bar break to the downside. Hey, that's a great question, Ryan. We'll go over it in a bit after I go over this trade. So you entered a double inside on the 4-hour. So pretty much the trade that Louis took, or Kev, that I know him as, he pretty much took this trade right here on RTY. He got in on the 4-hour as soon as it broke this double inside bar to the downside. How many points did you secure on that? I think you said you made like what, $500 or $600 today on that trade? Something like that. $620, so 620, that's about 12.2 ticks. Yeah, something like that. Fantastic trade, if I do say so myself. That was a real nice one off a double inside bar. If only it wasn't OPEX, I would have taken that with you. Really, really beautiful trade. Good stuff. And it kept on going too. Almost 20 points on that trade. It hit the strat target. Granted, I'm not going to hold for the full strat target like this. I take profit every 5 points on RTY that it goes in my favor. But hey, nonetheless, fantastic work. How did you feel during the trade? Very nice. Glad to hear. That's all it's about. Once you know what you're doing, take the trade. It's up to the market after that. You did your job. Good stuff, Kev. How do you figure out proper size for each trade? Fantastic question. I'll go over it for a minute because usually these classes are held for trade review, not for other questions like this. But I'll go over it for a minute. For the sake of the conversation, this stop loss on RTY, if you use one contract, so the stop loss is 3.1 points, which will equate to, that's what, 3 points, $150, which will be negative $160 if it goes against you per contract. So if you don't want to lose more than $160, you can use the micro contracts and use 5 M2K instead of 1 RTY, which will give you the same stop loss point amount, but the dollar amount is half. So you'll lose $80 instead of $160. So depending on the setup, you could determine, all right, is this setup giving me a 5-point stop loss? Do I want to lose $250 in this trade or 125? And then depending on what you're comfortable with and what your sizing is for, what your account size is in relation to that, you can be a little more clear on your sizing. So let's say I take a trade on YM that the stop loss is 100 points. That's $500 per contract. I'm not going to trade that with my full size because that's too much of a loss for my account size that I'm comfortable with. So if you want actually, I think I have it here. Actually, let's go here. Channel. So Ryan, if you haven't already, when you go to the YouTube channel, go to playlists, then go to the psychology of trading and system creation playlist. And the specific video that you're going to look for is the risk management and in-depth guide. I go in a lot more detail with how you can properly size depending on your account size and whether you're trading, stocks, options, or futures, or even Forex, really. So if you want to see like a full version of that, what I just explained, go watch this video here. It'll give you all the answers. Cool. So let's see. Pat took a kid and play setup on MES on the 5 minutes at 15:30 at 1:30 Eastern. 15:30 regular trading hours. Is that East Coast, Pat? And what time frame was it on? Because I'm not seeing one. What time frame did you take it on? Nothing there. Yeah, I'm not seeing the kid and play setup on MES anywhere. Yeah, Pat, if you're still here, let me know what time frame, because I don't see it anywhere on any of those time frames that we look for it on. In the meantime, let's look for Isaiah's trade. DraftKings, DKNG. All right, let's see. I haven't looked at DraftKings in so long that it has my old, uh, it has how I used to chart like 2 years ago on it. All right, let's see. 38 strike, so you're in the money. You got it at 12. So you're pretty much swinging this. Where's your stop loss on this trade? Is it this week's low or something else? %30 stop loss. All right, let's calculate what your stop loss is going to be based on the contracts. Or rather, where it might stop you out based on the chart. Give me a sec. I'm loading up Thinkorswim right now. I want to pull up the options chain. For those who are just coming in, welcome. If you haven't already, hit the thumbs up or the like button. I would greatly appreciate that. We got 17 people in here and only 12 likes. Hit the like button, please. That'll be fantastic. And post your trades in the chat so I can review them. Right now, we're looking at Isaiah's DraftKings trade. So you got the October 38 call. Oh, whoops, this is not DraftKings. The 38 strike. I'll check it out, Pat, after I'm done with this. You got in at 235. All right, let me just write this stuff down on the chart so I don't need to go back and forth. So October 18th expiration, 38 strike. You paid 235. Your entry. And then current price. We don't need this. I just want to look at it. Current price for the 38 is let's say 265 with the mid price, more or less. So 265. What's the delta? The delta is 64. The stop, or actually not the stop, theta is $4. Not bad. Very nice. All right, let's go back to TradingView. So if your stop loss is 30% of when you got in, let's see, it's 2.35 times 0.30 minus 2.35. Whoops. So the stop loss, more or less, would be, and I lost the number. I think it was like 1.64, something like that. So based on the delta, and you got in at 12. So you got in somewhere around here, 38.87, something like that. All right, so if the delta, let me move this over. Oh, whoops, we're on the weekly. So if the delta's that, and it goes down, $1 from where you entered in at, your stop loss on the price of the stock is probably going to be around 37.85. So something along that lines, that's where your stop loss is probably going to hit, because you're going to get 2 days of theta over the weekend. So that's $8 taken away from the contract, which is going to be, let's just say 2.55. And then if it goes $1 against you, that'll take it to about 190, 1.90 from the current price. So $1 from the current price, 1.90. And then if the stop loss is 1.64 approximately, yeah, it'll be around $37.85 to $38. If it's that price, you're probably going to get stopped out. But it looks super good. Everything is bullish. Quarterly has 9 days left. It might close as a hammer. Monthly already reversed to the upside. The weekly, same thing. We've been bullish for the last 2 weeks. So I'll probably have that as one target when you hit $40, and then 41.93, and then 44.62. Based on its ATR, these targets should hit in at least 2 to 4 days. And you got a month, so we got time. We'll see what happens. Yep. So the stop loss will probably be something like this. Something there. I'm going to send an alert so I can monitor it with you. But everything is in your favor. It's a really good trade. Sweet. Yeah. Great stuff. All right, let's go back to MES. So you said on the 15-minute, you took a kid and play setup at 1:30 or 15:30. So yeah, I'm still not seeing this kid and play. If you're talking about this right here, this is incorrect. Remember, the kid and play setup has a small green wick and a big, long red wick. This is the opposite. The green candle has a longer wick. The red candle has a short wick. The only parameter of the kid and play that I see here is just that the candles are flat. That's it. It doesn't have everything else that we look for. So if you did make money on that trade, fantastic work, but that's not a kid and play setup. A kid and play setup will look more like this. Big green candle, small or little wick with a big red wick and a big body. And the flat candles. This one doesn't have that. This is more so just a tweezer top. But nonetheless, great job on the trade if you took the short side. I'm pretty sure that one paid. Yeah, about 6 points. Not bad. At 11? Yeah, if we're looking for the bullish version, we have one right here as well. It's just the opposite. We have a red candle with a... I would prefer the wick to be a little smaller than this, but we'll accept it for now. So a small red wick or no wick with a big wick on the green candle. Bodies are evened out. I would want this to be a little more solid of the body, but looks like it... Actually, this one might have failed. Let's see. Long above. Because remember, the stop loss is the body of the setup candle. And looks like this wick hit it. But we'll see if it actually... Yeah, this one would have stopped you out. Actually, no. This went 2 down, and then it went 3 up. So this one would have been a winning trade if you took it. You would have went long here. Stop losses at the body, which actually matches up kind of with the 5-minute. And then you just keep on taking it up until you get all those strat targets. So your stop loss is almost like about 5 points. The first target is $1.50. I'll probably skip that target because it's 1.5 points. I'll probably go for this body here, 350. Then here, 475, 8, 10, 11, or whatever, so on and so forth. Yeah, good eye, Aya. Cool. All right. More setups that you guys want me to look at, please. We still got another 25 minutes. Yeah. Just, good job overall, just being able to spot it, because that's the biggest thing, just being able to spot these trades. And then once we get more comfortable, we can take them more live and go from there. So fantastic work. Whatever trades you guys want me to review, put it in the chat. I heard you mention on your first vid of the playlist that for futures, you don't use the strat. If I may know, what do you use? That's actually funny. I have to maybe not remake that video, but I'll put it in the notes. I use the strat for futures. So that video is pretty old from when I recorded it, but I do use the strat for futures now. Fake news. Yeah. That video is pretty old from when I was recording it. So before I started trading, like probably 95% of my trades now for futures is the strat. I was mainly using the strategy that one of my mentors taught me, using Fibonacci retracements. But because he had me sign an NDA and I can't teach it to people, people kept on coming to me to teach them how to trade futures. But I can't teach them because I can't teach them the strategy that my mentor taught me that I use. So I'm like, all right, let me spend the next 3 months just taking strat trades for futures the same way I do for options. And then once I got it refined, I refined the system for the strat and futures. From there, I was like, all right, everybody, now I can teach you how to trade futures, because it's going to be based on the strat and not on what I can't teach you. So in Zango, I made a video. I think it might be in the playlist, the strat playlist as well. Let's see. Yeah, does the strat work for futures? Yeah, so I made this video 6 months ago, and then I gave you guys an update about 2 months ago over the strat and futures. I've been using the strat for futures since um, January or February, something like that. At least like as much as I use now, because I used to kind of do both, like strat and fib and using fibs. But now it's mainly like 95% strat. All right. Put your trades in the chat so I can review them. Also, Ayo, glad you found that video helpful. I'm speaking to one of my mentors now. For those of you who know 100K, I'm probably going to work with him on having another one of those classes, pretty much similar content, but updated, so I can add more things that I think will be beneficial to you guys. So it'll be like a similar concept, just refined and updated for other things that I think you guys should know. And I'll keep you guys posted on when I'm going to have that. That class is only going to be for those who are in my group or in my mentors group. It's not going to be released to the public. But definitely glad that it helped and resonated. So, more trades, please. Or I'll just awkwardly sit here looking at my screen. Let's see. For those who are not in my group, you are more than welcome to use the link that I just posted in the chat and in the description of pretty much all my videos. I have the link to join my group as well, so you can look at it there if you would like. You see a TTO? There definitely is. Let's do a little quiz, a little TTO quiz. Is the TTO on the arrow on the left or the arrow on the right? And anybody can chime in. Just put it in the chat. Do you think the TTO is on the left or on the right arrow? All right, we got one answer that says the left. What does everybody else think? Yep. So the TTO is definitely the one on the left side right here. We have a nice push up. Whoever went long got trapped and got stopped out on that little pullback. And then we get in on this 2-1-2 up and then keep on going to heaven. Man, this was on MES as well. So the first target is always the TTO being completed, which would be like right there. Not bad. Yeah, definitely. Yep. A really, really, really clean TTO with a 2-1 and a hammer. I would have definitely taken that if I saw it. Definitely, Foopsie. It's a one-time payment of $35 and you'll be in my group forever. And we have more classes like this and other private classes where we go over other material in the group. So definitely join in if you want a little more support so I can give you guys more active feedback on your trading and things like that. And IO, yeah, so you can look at this as a Momo hammer. I personally wouldn't take it because it's not like my preferred version in the sense of, let me see if I can find a cleaner one for you. Let's see. Let's check the 15 real quick. So not really a Momo hammer, but I'll accept it. So I want to see a big green candle, and then it could be a red candle, green candle, doesn't matter. It can be an inside bar as well, like this, but preferably as a hammer. It could be an inside bar, or it can be a hammer, like 2-up or a hammer inside bar. It really doesn't matter, honestly. And actually, let me show you a perfect version. NVIDIA had it on the 4-hour a few months ago. There we go. So here's one. Granted, it's usually a 2-up, but this is a 3-up here. So we have a big candle, prints a hammer in the direction of the trend, and then we continue taking it higher. This one is not the cleanest because it printed 3 candles. It usually just prints like a two candle, then an inside bar, or another 2 candle, and then a continuation up. Let's see. Was it on the daily? Let's look at the daily instead. Yeah, so this is like perfect, right? We have, granted, I would want a bigger 2 candle. Then we get a hammer that prints in the direction of the trend, and then we continue taking it higher. So just pretend, let's go back to MES on the 15-minute for today. So I would want to see a big candle like this. We get a hammer that prints in the direction of the trend, and then we just take that 2 up. And generally, after the Momo hammer prints, it's going to be a big candle like this. And my stop loss is always under the inside bar or whatever the hammer is. This could be a 2-up. Doesn't matter to me. My stop loss is always under the like the hammer. There was another one that printed. I forgot what day it was, and might have been for IWM. Let me put on extended hours. Might see one here. Sweet. So this is a really good one as well. We get a green candle. We get a hammer that prints in the direction of the trend, and we take that 2 up. And our stop loss is under here. And then we just keep on taking it higher. I usually take profit every 30 points in my favor for YM. For ES, if you trade that, I'll probably take profit every 5 points in my direction, or a strat target, whichever one comes first, like a broader information or a previous candle high, things like that. Hey, Pat, if you're still in here, this is a better kid and play setup. We get the big green candle with almost pretty much no wick, a red candle with a big wick and a big body, and we take that 2 down. And our stop loss is up here. Our first target is down there. Granted, this move is really, really big. It's kind of big. It's 87 points. I'll probably take profit every 50 points as it goes in my favor. And then your stop loss was only 35 points. Very nice. This one printed at nighttime, though. I wouldn't have been on, but this is a better looking kid and play. Yep, yeah, so entry is going to be at the top, like pretty much like a regular strat setup. We're going to take it as soon as it breaks the top of the hammer, and we'll go from there. Welcome to the group, David. Glad to have you with us. All right, people, give me trades to review. This is the point of this class. If there are no more trades, we'll just wrap up in the next 5 minutes. Any trade you took, I don't care if you won, I don't care if you lost the trade. That's not the point. The point is, I want to see what you did so I can give you good, proper feedback to see what we can improve for next time. So I don't care if, again, I don't care if you lose the trade. That's not the point of this. The point is to provide constructive feedback so we can improve. So any trades at all, put it in the chat. We'll go over it together. I'll send you a screenshot in the Discord real quick. Sounds good. Let me bring that up. All right, let's see what we got. Oh yeah, you did send me the, oh, that's a really nice Momo shooter in that first circle that you showed. If there's another trade for the screenshot, let me know. This was MES on the 5 minute. I'll check that up. All right, let's see what we got. Let me zoom into this real quick. Would I consider that a would I consider this a W trade? What time frame was this? What time frame was this trade on? Yesterday at 6, 5 minute. 6 my time or 6 your time? $9:30 my time. Looks like it was this over here. You can. To me, this is more like of a V, not really a W. If not, it'll be a really, really dirty W because we got the push down. Yeah, it made a higher low and then reverse, but like this is really, really dirty, right? As opposed to, let's say the one from YM yesterday. So this is the one from yesterday on YM. We have a much cleaner W than on ES, right? It looks a lot more like a W. We get a proper move back down. Yours like had a higher low all the way up here and then went up. I prefer the ones that have like a deeper move down like this, and then head back up. So what I consider a W, probably, or not probably, I definitely won't consider that a W. Yeah, definitely was a little messy because basically what happened here is instead of them bringing it back down, while it did make a higher low, instead of them bringing it down to make a higher low down here, they just continued buying it up, right? So the buyers just were super strong and just kept on bringing it up. But nonetheless, let's see, you got in where 56. So you got in on this reversal. If is that blue line a broadening formation that you have? If that is a broadening formation, then that's a really good trade. You got the bounce, so people can see what I'm looking at, just so we can see it together. I'm assuming this is a broadening formation over here. And then you got in pretty much on the strat reversal, the 2 down, 2 up reversal, bullish reversal. You got in right here at the break. Oh, gotcha. Still, if that's like a support level for you, fantastic. I'll accept it. You got in at what is it? 5,760-ish. You took some profit at 68. So that's 8 points at the first target, which is this high. And then you took some more profit right over here. What was that 78? Something like that. Let me see. Yeah, somewhere like 77, 78. Hey, fantastic trade. Really, really nice. So he got in here. I'm assuming your stop loss might have been there. He was aiming for this high up there. He took profit right on this wick at the first target. And then he took profit over here, almost at the body. But still, that's a fantastic trade. That's what, 14 points, 14.2. Very, very nice. When I trade ES, my target was 10 points a day. So in one trade, I would have pretty much been done if I took this trade. Fantastic work. How did you feel during the trade? Got a bit nervous when price started to chop, but I stuck to my rules and didn't move my stop. Hey, fantastic work. That's all it is. Remember, our only job as traders is really just to follow the plan. You know, it does if price is chopping, but it hasn't hit your stop loss or your take profit, just wait because the trade is still valid. So great work there. and sticking to the rules and not messing with the trade. Because one thing that I love about the psychology of trading, when you really like take a step back and think about it, when we're in a trade and it starts to like move sideways, why might we start getting nervous? Oh, it's starting to chop. It might go against me and stop me out. Let me move my stop loss up, or let me just get out of the trade right now and just secure whatever green I have. But in reality, the trade is still valid, right? It's just your mind playing tricks on you. Because remember, humans, we're not designed to be in uncertain situations. And the market is everything but certain. There's a lot of uncertainty to it in the sense that it's probability, right? And I always like to use this um, this analogy is if we're cavemen and we're hanging out outside and there's a bush that's like shaking and stuff, right? We're not going to be like, well, it's probably a squirrel. We're good, Bob or Joe or whatever, Mr. Other Caveman. We're not going to say that. Like fight or flight is going to kick in and we're going to freaking run as fast as we can out of there. Because we don't know if it's a bear, we don't know if it's a saber-toothed tiger, something to kill us, right? We're not here to take that risk or that chance. Same thing for trading. The trader's mind understands that trading is based on probability. The human mind does not like probability and it does not like uncertain situations. So it's going to do everything it can in its power to get you to stop doing what it doesn't like, which is trading, because it's uncertain, right? So in moments like that, we just need to stick to our rules. If you start to get too anxious, literally just walk away from the screen and go do something else or turn off the screen. If you already have your trade automated, you did your job. Just walk away. Because again, if the trade's going to win, it's going to win. If it's going to lose, it's going to lose. You can't control that. That's up to the market. So all in all, fantastic work on that trade. Really, really nice. Where would you recommend getting started with learning for beginners? Your channel? Question for you, Foopsie. Were you the one that joined the group earlier, like 20, 30 minutes ago? Because if you are in the Discord, I can guide you to some material that you can start going over. Let's see. Oh, gotcha. So in the group, whenever you get in there, I made a beginner's guide to pretty much what to go over. Definitely go over where is this? Definitely in the YouTube channel, go over all the strat material. I also have the Strat Academy, so you can go over the material that's in there as well. It does have similar things that are in the YouTube channel, but you can have other like scripts and indicators that my buddy made for me that might help you be able to find certain things. With you being a beginner, what I would definitely say is focus on just building up your system, in the sense of go through like the risk management video, the journaling video, so you can start getting a lot of data. And then you can slowly start taking paper trades as you develop your system and your ideas and things like that, right? Because right now your goal is not to make money as a new trader. Your goal is to understand what you're doing, how to read charts, and so on and so forth, right? And then once you get a solid foundation on exactly what you're doing, Then from there, you can go to your live account and use small size because you don't want to use a big size and get nervous and lose money as you're finalizing everything. So definitely go through the material, the Strat Academy information, the beginner's guide section, so you can start journaling properly, using proper risk, things like that. There is a video, since it sounds like you're trading options. Where is this? So on the YouTube channel, if you go to the psychology and trading system creation, did I put it there? No, I don't think it's there. It's in trainings and walkthrough. That were trainings and walkthrough. So in this channel or playlist, go to the understanding the options chain in Greeks. I had this class 3 weeks ago. So definitely go over that material as well, since you are going. Sounds like you're trading options. You want to really understand the Greeks, because if you don't, it can be very detrimental. I'll tell you from experience. So also with the strat, when you're starting out, take trades off the 4 hour, the 1 hour, and on the 5 and 15-minute time frame, only look for the TTO setups. Just keep it simple in the beginning. You don't want to overcomplicate things. So, and of course, any questions you have, just reach out to me in the Discord, and I'll get back to you when I can. All right, ladies and gents, we are over time. Before we wrap up, as always, please put in the chat what the biggest takeaway was for you today. So what you learned today, or the biggest thing that you've learned today that you'll leave from today's class. On the 5 and 15-minute, only look for TTO. Yep. And while you can look for TTOs on higher time frame, they're just a lot slower to print. And I don't really swing trade like indices. So what was it, the daily? I think it was the weekly. So looking at MES, we have a TTO on the weekly time frame. Super clean. But yeah, TTOs are definitely your friend. If you have trouble trading trend days, TTOs will make life so much easier. So definitely study up. Yeah, so on the strat playlist, Zhang, it'll have a video specifically going over TTOs and what they look for, so on and so forth, and etc. And any questions, I think I saw you join the group as well. Just send me a message or post it in the group. And, I'll help you out. Everybody else in the group were super helpful. And since a lot of us trade the strat, other people besides myself can answer. But since I'm always working, I'll probably respond back in like 2 seconds. Isaiah mentioned patience and lots of research into the strat broadening formations for long holds. Definitely. Because, like Sarah Strat Sniper and those other like strat traders that were with Rob Smith, they just traded regular stock. They didn't use the strat for futures or options like we do. They would consider us gamblers trading those instruments with the strat. So literally, like what they would do is, let's say for Apple, since I have them drawn on Apple. So from what I remember, what they would mainly do is they'll have like their broadening formations on the higher time frames, right? And what they'll do is they'll just take these swings for months. So let's say here we get this bounce off this broadening formation down here, this monthly BF. They will go long right over here, and they'll just hold the whole position until it hits another BF, which is all the way up here. Yes, you can take profit as it goes in your favor and hits the targets. But from what I remember, they would just hold it until it hits the next BF level, like this. So they'll be in trades for months. So if you got into this trade, trading like just Apple equity, you would have been holding for 6 months, half a year before it hit the broader information target. I would definitely be taking profit at these previous candle highs. I'll tell you that. But hey, whatever works. Yeah, a 6-month hold. Shout out to them. That's not me. The most I've held the trade, maybe like a month, maybe a month and a half, if that. But hey, that's the strat. Trading magnitude. Yep, like Kevin mentioned, always trust the process and don't focus too much on the profit or the money, because remember, the money is coming from the process and the system that you build, right? I was talking to this gentleman on Reddit earlier, and he posted this thread where he said, "Hey, I've been trading for a year and a half, and I'm still struggling X, Y, and Z. I keep on making mistakes." And I asked him 3 or 4 questions. I asked him, do you have clearly defined setups? Do you have a clear list of rules? Do you have a journal? And do you journal all your trades? And of course, do you practice proper risk management? He doesn't have clearly defined trades. He doesn't have, at least from what I saw, he doesn't have, he has rules, but he doesn't follow them. So he lacks discipline. He doesn't journal. So he's lacking that discipline and data collection. And his risk management, I think from what I saw, it's okay. He just messes up when he goes on tilt. So for me, this guy or this person has been trading for a year and a half and doesn't have a proper system. How do you expect to succeed in anything in life, not even trading related, anything in life, if you don't have a proper system, right? I'm not going to open up a business and just wing it, right? You need to have a business plan on what the business is going to do. What are you in business for? All that good stuff. How are you going to run the business? How are you going to get prospects? So on and so forth, right? So it's no surprise that he's still struggling a year and a half later when he doesn't have the fundamentals down. Because strategy is just one part of the puzzle. Your system, your psychology, your discipline, all that stuff is the other part. There are people in my mentors group where I learned the strat that are still struggling to this day. I joined his group 2.5 years ago, and they're still struggling because they never spent the time on the fundamental side of their trading system. They only focus on the strategy. So always remember, it's always the strategy is one side and the system, disciplines, trading psychology is another. If you don't have both, then you're going to have a real hard time when it comes to trading. I'll tell you that from experience and many people that I've worked with. All right. Thank you guys for coming out. If you let me, I will talk for another hour and I must depart. Thank you guys as always for coming out and then, sharing with me your trades and going over my trades. I love doing this stuff and helping you guys. For those who are new here, we have these every Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern. So definitely, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, so you can be notified when we have these. For those who are in my group, I usually have these 2 to 3 times in the group privately. So, and I'll ping you guys when I do so. So keep an eye out for that. Thank you guys again. Zango and Foopsy, just message me in the Discord as you go through the material with any questions you guys have, and I'll help you out. Other than that, enjoy your Friday, everybody, and I will see you guys for those who are in my group and my mentors group tomorrow for the chart and chill session at 11 a.m. Eastern time. Good night.